All right, today we're going to be working on some mineral sites. We're going to also be doing our mineral testing, and I'll show you what we've got right here. I bought all this stuff to put out. We've got the Whitetail Institute 30-06, the Lucky Buck mineral, and then we've got the Trophy Rock. And then I actually had a guy contact me on the internet. A guy named Harry Holland, I think is how you say his name, and his mineral company is called Manic Outdoors. And anyway, he contacted me and wanted to just send me some mineral to try out. And I told him that's not how we do it, that we're not sponsored, we don't get free gear from anybody, and I'd be happy to buy a couple bags from him and put it in our test. So you know, that's what we're doing. I bought 6 bags of the mineral from him. He shipped it down. So we're going to put all 3 of these mineral, or excuse me, it's 4. We've got the Lucky Buck, the Whitetail Institute 30-06, the Trophy Rock, and the Maniac that this guy sent me. We're going to put them all out together. We're going to put a trail camera over it and see which one the deer prefer. Now, it is my understanding that normally the deer are attracted to the ones that have more salt in them, and that might not be the most healthy mineral for the deer. But anyway, we're going to try it so you guys see exactly what happens. You know, South Carolina, I don't want to get into the whole bait, mineral, food plot debate. You know, everybody does their own thing. Where I'm setting this particular one up, I would never hunt anywhere near here. It's right by a big food plot, and this property is so pressured. These deer will not, the bigger deer that I'm after are really not going to show up in these food plots or definitely on a mineral site in the daylight. So I'm doing it for deer herd, for overall help. They do need salt this time of year. And then I'm also doing it to test so guys can see what mineral they like better. I'm not going to bore you with setting it up, scratching up the ground, and you've seen that a million times, but I will go down and get it all poured out, set up, and then show you that. And then we can go back and see once the deer get into it. So that's the plan. There's going to be several segments right here together. I'm going next to a spot where I've got a in-town property I got permission on that I'm super excited about. It sets up for an awesome trap, and I'm going to explain that whole thing to you. You know, kind of how I got access. It's a property I got permission, don't pay for it. And I think there'll be a chance of getting an early season buck out of there. So we'll be heading there next, but I'll get this one set up and then we're going to pull out of the swamp and head down to this in-town property. Be back to you shortly. All right, we got the first site set up. The mosquitoes are about to eat me alive. I'm in this Congaree swamp, and we just had a really bad flood. And man, the hogs are in here. That's a problem we got with this property. The hogs are so bad, and the mosquitoes are awful. So this is going to be quick. Just to show you exactly how we set it up. You got the Whitetail Institute 30-06. You've got that Maniac that I bought from the guy that contacted me on social media. We've got the Trophy Rock, and then back there's the Lucky Buck. So it's all set up. And we'll, you know, monitor it. I got a trail camera right here. So gonna clean everything up, get out of here, and go to the trap spot, which I think you'll find interesting. We're gonna break that down a lot. This is a spot that I would never hunt. There's a food plot literally 50 yards, or heck, 40 yards that way. And I won't hunt anywhere near this. The chances of a big mature buck coming out into this in daylight, it's not very good with all the pressure we have here. But anyway, we'll just see what happens and test these products out, see which one they like the best. Thanks. All right, guys, this is my second spot. Again, Whitetail Institute 30-06, Lucky Buck, the Maniac, and then I am going to put a Trophy Rock right there, but I left it in my truck. It was too heavy to carry everything in here at once. All right, so, and then trail camera right there. So this is my in-town spot that I got permission to hunt here. It's about 50 to 60 acres. It's an old abandoned development, kind of on the edge of town. and then it kind of feeds out to the river bottom and to a bunch of ag ground. So this is a really good bedding area back in here. And it's the bedding area is actually way that way. I'm gonna break all this down on my artsy map. But anyway, the plan here is the deer are bedded back there, and they naturally feed out this way and go out to the ag. That's kind of their path. And there's some houses up here that pinch them down, and then there's a lake or a big muddy pond, I guess, over here, and it pinches them down, so they funnel through here naturally. And I'm setting this all up so they can get something better in their diet, get some mineral in there, and also to test these products, see which one they like better. But again, I'm not going to be hunting right over this because these deer in South Carolina, it's tough to get a mature one to hit this at night. It's tough to get them to hit it during daylight. They normally hit it at night. So I'll be actually hunting back that way. Again, going to break all this down for you in our room. But anyway, this is the setup. This is how we're testing everything. Got 4 minerals: Lucky Buck, Whitetail Institute 30-06, the Maniac, and then there will be a trophy rock in here as well. So we'll break all this down for you, how this is going to play out. But this is going to be a neat little trap. And if there's a big one in here early season, we're going to get a crack at him, I really think. I'm going to have a food plot out there as well. So again, if there's a big one in here, we should get a crack at him. Okay, you've just seen a couple mineral sites that I set up, and our mineral test sites, I guess, if you will, before I dive into this early season trap that we set up, which was our second mineral site that I set up. Before I dive into that, I want to just clear up something about South Carolina hunting, as a lot of people don't know about South Carolina. A lot of the people watching this are from the Midwest and don't really understand what we deal with down here. The county that I hunt in, or the zone that I hunt in, the rifle season comes in August 15th and it runs until January 1st. And you can actually still hunt with dogs. You can run whitetail deer with a pack of hounds in the game zone that I hunt in. It makes it very, very challenging for a guy trying to kill older deer with archery equipment. It makes it really, really tough. You can shoot 5 bucks in our county, and you can shoot 8 does, so 13 deer a year per person. Rifle season, again, comes in August 15th and runs all the way to January 1st. So it's really difficult here to get on bigger or older type deer that we want to bow hunt. But that's part of it. You know, the dog hunting is a tradition in the South. I'm not saying it's good, bad, whatever. It just makes it more challenging for us. I also don't really want to get into an ethics debate on bait sites, mineral, that sort of stuff. You know, to each his own. Everybody's ethics falls between going naked with their teeth and hunting in a 1 acre pen with a rifle. Everybody falls in between that somewhere. So unless you're hunting naked with your teeth, you know, we're all in it together. We're all hunters. So I know that bait sites, I know that mineral, I know that food plots, I know private land, I know all that is frowned upon by some people, but I want to tell you how I do it, and hopefully it'll help some guys. That's what I'm trying to do here. So when I get into this trap, this is an in-town property that I called a friend of my brother-in-law's, and he gave me permission to hunt it. I certainly would have paid, but he gave me permission. It's 50, 60 acres, and this will be our first year hunting in here, but it has set up perfect for an early season trap. And let me just kind of dive into it. Kevin was picking on my houses earlier, but I think they're pretty good. Anyway, he's laughing again. All right, so this is kind of the gist of it. Up here is a residential area, and town is to the north, and then to the south is an ag area, big cornfields this year, and then the river bottom is out here. This used to all be, right through here, it used to all be woods. And they came in and they clear cut this about 6 months ago, so it's really just like an open field up until these houses. So the deer used to be able to meander all through here and gravitate out through this one little funnel out to the ag. Well, now that this has all been cut, it has super, super pinched them down. The bedding is still right in here. This is kind of swampy, thick, real briar woods. There's a swamp lake out here that they would have to swim it, literally, like I have no idea how deep it is, but it's way over my head. So that technically they could swim it, but most of the trails funnel out of the bedding, come right around here, and go out to this ag. So what I've done is I'm going to put a food plot in right here, and then I've set that mineral site, which you saw in the video earlier, right here. And the reason for the mineral is to, number one, do the test to see which one the deer like better. And then number two, to help them. This time of year, they do need salt in their diet and the overall herd. There's some does in here, and it helps the overall herd of deer to get the trace minerals that they need. So this is a really good spot for the mineral because they're going to find it quick and they need it this time of year. So that's kind of the setup. Now from a hunting standpoint, these the mature deer that I'm after, the chances of them showing up on this mineral or this food plot in daylight are not very good because again, we have a ton of pressure. Not a lot of pressure in here, but there is a bunch of pressure out this way. There's guys that lease some of these ag fields and the woods out here, so there is some pressure. But they're coming out of this bed, there's no doubt they're bedding in here and they're coming out. All the trails show it. So what I will do is I'll put my stand right here up against this bedding where you've got this clear cut and it's basically just an open field where they can't get behind me. So any south wind, it'll be great. I'm close enough to the bedding that I'm going to get them at that last bit of light when they're coming out to go feed, and my access is great. I can park way up here, sneak in here, hit this open field, get it right into my stand with a south wind blowing that way and them coming out this way going to feed. If I don't get him, all I got to do is climb down and I'm out of here, and they never knew I was there. If I set up on the mineral or I set up on the plot and the does and stuff got out here and then I had to climb down and get out, after dark, they're going to all smell me, know that I was there, and here it's very surgical. It's a small interference right here that's not going to disrupt their normal pattern. They're not going to know they're hunted, so I'll have several cracks at them. Now, I'll ask a question. What do you guys think is our vulnerability? What here, other than trespassing? There's a lot of these guys that walk through here. It's not really controlled, it's not really posted, so there's a guy that rides horses out in here that lives in one of these houses. So other than that, what do you think could mess us up here? Because this does set up as a really good trap. It's a great funnel, good bedding, it's got everything that you need. We've already gotten a couple pictures of some deer in here that are making some horns, so I think there's going to be a good buck in here. But what do you think is the one thing that can mess us up? Thermals. Here's why. This spot is on a bit of a hill. This rises up. This is a deep swamp lake out here. So south wind is blowing this way, and you think on paper that's perfect. But a lot of times the thermals around this lake will suck your scent right back out to it. So what we've got to do to figure out if that's happening here is July, probably mid-July, when we come in here to hang the stand, is we've got to take some milkweed or some cotton or something along with a puffer bottle and check the thermals on a south wind and see if the thermals are going back out here, because that'll ruin everything for us and we'll have to come up with another plan. But it's set up perfect for a south wind. They'll never know we were there. So the only thing left to do really is to get the food plot in and then also check the thermals there, and then we'll be in business. So that's kind of the plan. The next thing that we'll bring you as far as the mineral test is we're going to go back in about a month and film these sites and see which one the deer like better, and then we'll announce it. Because again, not sponsored by anybody, 100% transparent. What we're doing, we're bringing it to you exactly how it happens. So whichever mineral the deer like better, we're going to show it to you, and we'll see which one they like. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it. We'll be back to you soon.